Super cheer, well on the stage, Felix, Parkin, everybody!
Hello. Yeah, I'm Felix, and I've got 3 sisters, so I've come to the conclusion that my mum named me after a cat food brand because she wanted to keep a pussy theme going. I've heard cat food jokes my whole life, and normally it doesn't bother me, but yesterday I met someone new for the first time, and they made a shitty cat food joke, and I just flipped. I told them to fuck off. Well, actually, what I actually said is I said, fuck off, mate. I've heard that since I was 4 years old. You have the originality of a fucking toddler, which wasn't the best start to the job interview. Turns out that makes you the wrong fit for the church. Okay. But my mum, she tried to make up for her mistake with the first and most basic stage of parenting by buying me a framed poster that said, in Latin, Felix means happiness, which was a lovely gesture. Didn't explain why my middle name's Iams. But I got teased at school a lot, but to be fair to Mum, it was probably more the school I went to. Maybe it doesn't sound like it, but I went to a really quite rough, comprehensive school. It was one of them schools that produced more babies than A stars, which is impressive when you don't have a sixth form. People were baffled by Brexit, weren't they? I wasn't, because my class had just got rid of their 6th French teacher in 1 year. And we developed our own Henry VIII style rhyme, which was, mental breakdown, retired, let go, mental breakdown, retired, pedo. that was it. My first job after I left school was at Carphone Warehouse. And, it's not funny. It's true. I'm hoping the funny's going to come. My first job after school was Carphone Warehouse, and I love how funny it is when you start a new job and you start your first job. The difference between when you start and when you finish. Like when I started, I was so scared to go on a toilet break. I wouldn't go to the toilet all day. Basically, give myself kidney disease. By the time I'd finished, they were asking for evidence of a medical condition because, I quote, you're spending an average of 21 minutes per toilet break. Also, at the start, I was like at the door ready to serve customers. By the end, if someone asked me if I worked there, I was just going, why else would I be wearing uniform? I'm not a fan of what Carphone Warehouse do. There was certain customers I didn't like. One type of customer, people would come in and try and barter with me on the prices, right? You don't really see this in phone shops. You don't see this in Morrison's, do you? Someone picking up 5 bananas and heading to the till to debate the price. But it got to a stage where it felt like I was working in the back streets of Istanbul. I was literally there like, what are you going to offer me next? 5 camels? Your daughter's hand in marriage? What's going on here? The other type of customer I didn't like, sorry to offend anyone, but old people. Old people would come in wanting help with their phone, tech support, right? It felt like I was around at my nan's house permanently. But the problem with Carphone Warehouse is you don't actually get any training. You don't get tech training. You only get sales training. So coming into Carphone Warehouse looking for help with tech support, it's like going into McDonald's and asking them if they know how to turn a cow into a burger. The worst thing was when these two things were combined, all right? So I had an old elderly lady. She come into the store, and she was like, I need help. I need to know how to FaceTime my grandson because he's gone travelling. And it was a hot day, and she brought a dog in as well. It was stinking the place out. And 3 hours later, I'd realised that when she said travelling, she meant escaped. And then after this 3 hours, she looked at her phone case, and she was like, oh, how much is this for me? And I just went, it's right there in front of your fucking eyes, right? Without realising that her dog was actually a guide dog. That's how I got sacked from Carphone Warehouse. This has been lovely. I like being out. I'm glad to be here because I've actually not had a great week. This week I crashed my car. Actually, crash is glamorising it. What happened is I drove it into a wall, okay? And you might be thinking, how would you do that? Well, the answer is very simple. It's much more common than you think. What happened was, I'm a moron, okay? And everyone's been very unanimous in this verdict, apart from my mum. who, when I called her to tell her, she said, "Oh, don't worry, Felix. Your dad reversed his car into a tree." That didn't make me feel better. That made me feel like I was genetically doomed. Like, if I have a stroke, I'm not going to be in the back of an ambulance going, "Well, at least my nan had one." That's my time. Thank you very much.
Felix Parkin, everyone.